Hey, good afternoon or good morning or wherever you happen to be. I am Daniel Sullivan and I am your instructor for this course, BUAD 848, Globalization, Issues, Actors, Decisions, and You. And the chart you see behind me is kind of the symbolic representation of what we're going to try to do in this class. I'm not trying to be too ethereal about it, but it does capture the underlying logic in a pretty cool blue pastiche of text, connections, and globalization effects. Anyways, more directly, the class we have for this particular course is represented by this image of the kid. I affectionately call him the kid for whatever reason. And I'm going to quickly profile for you in the next couple of minutes what we're going to try to do in this course over the time between now and the next 7 weeks. Anyways, the point of this particular video profile is to give you a sense of where this course lays in the portfolio of courses we have here at the University of Delaware that cover international business and globalization in the business school. And the way I conceptualize this is kind of this profile right here. You have essentially 5 courses laid out here, which comprise the core of our portfolio in the management department, business administration department. And we tend to cover these on a regular basis, and they also are the anchor for the International Business Master's Program. In any event, though, as you see here, you see 5 courses. Globalization and business at the top, all the way down to where we are now, the future of globalization, issues, agents, decisions, and you. One way to think about this course as you work your way through it is to think of it in terms of a macro versus micro orientation. Again, as you see here, 811 is a very macro-oriented course. It looks at institutions, environments, countries, big topic issues that shape the global business environment. Kind of a 30,000 view of the world as you fly across different domains, looking at different issues to make sense of different questions. You would then move on to the international enterprise, multinational corporation, born global. That would give you a sense of how to manage a global operation, whether it be very small or very large. Then you would actually, depending upon your interests, in our department at least, move on to international marketing management. In economics, you look at international economics or trade theory. Finance would be international finance, and so on and so forth. If you are still inclined and intrigued by management dimensions, you would look at leading across borders, or boundaries, which would look at more interpersonal dynamics that moderate how people behave internationally as they conduct international operations. You would get to this class here, essentially, eventually, ultimately, or perhaps even start that class, but I'll get back to that in a second, the future of globalization. So, to make it a bit more dramatic, this is probably a more interesting way to conceptualize it, in the sense of globalization in business, the unit of analysis, or the level of analysis, is the globe itself. And there are approximately 225 individual economic units according to the World Bank. They comprise the global business environment, and they also are the basis for how we conceptualize international business. If you go down to the next bubble, so to speak, you see a team of individuals, much like yourself. Hello again. And they are deciding where, when, why, and what to do in different parts of the world. And that would involve things such as managing the global enterprise, international marketing management, as well as leading across boundaries. And then lastly, you see the picture of the kid, once again, the face emblazoned with the globe. And that is the point of this course. This course is very micro-oriented in the terms of it's individually centric as opposed to institutionally centric. So essentially, as you'll see quickly in the next couple of video profiles, as well as a couple of wrap-up points here, this class adopts a very individualistic orientation to interpreting the globalization of the marketplace and your opportunities and challenges within that context. It is a kind of an offset or the polar bookend for the 811 course, Globalization and Business. So as you move through the course, keep in mind this class is about you, and you are symbolically the child we see in that lower right-hand image of the map ablaze on top of the face. Now, a big question people typically have is whether or not where one should start. Should one start at the top and work down from macro to micro orientation? Could one start at the bottom and also work up to the top? Or could someone just simply take a course as their courses unfold and their schedule unwraps, and they take a course here and there, and therefore there's no particular sequence? Ideally, in a perfect world, which we do not happen to claim any longer, you would basically start at one end and work at the other end and kind of build an iterative sequence of logics and interpretive notions that make sense of the world. But, that's not going to happen for most of us because courses are offered in a opportunistic way. We are sequential, but there are opportunities and constraints that regulate what courses we offer when. Likewise, people start the program increasingly at different points. Before a generation ago, we'd all start in the fall and work our way through the summer and then graduate sometime in between there. Now people start the program literally every 7 weeks or every 2 months or every 3 months, or some sort of new batch of students arrives, and we are happy that you're here. We want to thank you for your vote of confidence in the university. But as a consequence of that, courses are open when people need them to be, and they take them as they see fit. So, if you're worried about whether you're prepared for this course, given the fact that this might be your first international business course, it might be, it's not a problem. It's just simply a function of where you happen to be in the program. And the course has been designed to help both the experienced individual who's familiar with globalization and issues of those sorts, as well as the novice who might be new to the area and asking what exactly is international business. It's designed to benefit both people or both individuals by providing materials that you'll work through over the course of the 7 weeks you're in this course to make sense of globalization issues that dominate discussion today, agents that shape the process of decision making, decisions that you will make, and ultimately what it means to you on an individualized, professional and personal basis. So with that said, we're back to this rather cool chart, and as I'll show in the next video profile that looks at what you'll actually study in this course, again there'll be a kind of interesting emphasis of the dynamics you see in this image behind me of a terrestrial component, namely the globe that you see here, as well as a digital component, which is the code overlay on top of the digital connections that encircle and wrap and kind of make globalization what globalization is. So, as we wrap up this short video, keep in mind this class is designed with an individualized perspective, hopefully able to give you the platform to test and tease out what globalization means to you on a personal and professional level. Okay, so with that said, welcome to the class. If you have any questions, either feel free to email me, call me, text me, whatever you need to do. All that information is on the Canvas website that supports the class.